Welcome to another deep dive. We're going to be looking at horsing around estates today. So they seem to be more than just your average real estate company.
Right.
We're talking less house hunters and more like horse whisperers, if you will.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of sources here we're going to be looking at. We've got their website
Yeah.
and their TikTok. And believe me, there are some interesting things in here.
For sure.
For instance, they only work with one horse at a time. And their matching process is incredibly thorough.
Yeah, it's a really specialized approach.
Okay.
They describe themselves as connecting horse enthusiasts with their dream properties.
Okay.
But it sounds like they go beyond just finding a place with a stable.
Right.
Their website really emphasizes their team's combined expertise in real estate and horses,
Yeah.
which isn't something you see every day.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
That makes you wonder, what sparked that unique focus on matching horses and riders?
Right.
What is the story behind that one horse at a time philosophy? It's not exactly the most efficient business model.
Well, so they explain on their website that this approach allows them to really understand each horse.
Okay.
You know, their diet, temperament, personality, before they match them with a new home.
Okay.
So I suppose it's like a way to reduce stress on the horse
Okay.
and increase the chances of a, successful long-term match.
That makes sense. But I imagine it also creates a little bit of a bottleneck.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you're eager to bring a horse home, you might be waiting a while.
Right.
And speaking of horses, they mentioned they have a variety of breeds.
Oh, yeah.
Thoroughbreds, quarter horses, Arabians.
Yeah.
It goes on and on.
But remember their emphasis on matching the right horse and rider.
Right.
It makes you wonder, how do they go beyond just breed stereotypes to find those ideal pairings?
Right.
Like, a thoroughbred, for example, is known for speed and energy.
Right.
Probably not the best fit for a beginner rider.
So true. It would be interesting to know how they assess each horse's temperament.
Yeah.
And then also like the rider's experience, riding style, and goals.
Exactly.
And speaking of finding the perfect match, they actually have this glowing testimonial
Okay.
from a James Willamy who found a horse for his daughter through horsing around estates.
It's certainly a good sign.
Yeah.
It seems like they're genuinely invested in finding compatible pairings,
Yeah.
which is really important when you consider the long-term well-being of both horse and rider.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're based in Georgia, USA,
Good to know.
in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about their TikTok presence.
Okay.
Their tagline is, "Tails and trails your way, your Neigh,"
Cute.
which I have to admit I chuckled at.
Yeah.
They've got a growing following, 73 followers and 251 likes.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they're using a mix of videos, reposts, and favorites to build their brand.
It's smart, especially for a niche business like this.
Yeah.
Social media platforms like TikTok allow them to showcase their horses, their properties,
Mhm.
and their expertise in a way that traditional marketing just can't.
Yeah.
They can give potential clients a real glimpse into their world.
And maybe even attract those who might not be actively looking for a horse or property.
Right.
But could be drawn in by their content and approach.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
But here's where things get a little curious.
Okay.
Their suggested accounts on TikTok are all over the place.
What do you mean?
We're talking The Rock,
Mhm.
Taylor Swift,
Mm-hmm.
Bad Bunny, Billie Eilish, even Gordon Ramsay and Cooking with Marshmallow.
Wow. That's quite a mix.
It is.
Yeah.
It certainly raises some questions about their target audience and their overall social media strategy.
It does.
Are they trying to cast a wide net and appeal to a broad range of interests?
Possibly.
Or is this just a random quirk of the TikTok algorithm?
It's hard to say for sure,
Yeah,
but it definitely makes you want to know more.
it does. So let's put on our thinking caps and dig a little deeper.
Okay.
What else can we glean from their website and TikTok about how they actually operate?
Yeah, good question. One thing that stands out to me is that strategic placement phrase they use on their website
Right.
makes you wonder, what criteria are they using to determine if a horse is going to the perfect home?
Yeah.
It can't just be about like someone with a big enough pasture, right?
Right. I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
They talk a lot about ensuring the horse's well-being, but what does that actually look like?
Right.
In their matching process.
Yeah.
Do they have like a detailed questionnaire for potential buyers, or
Right.
do they observe like interactions between horse and rider to assess compatibility?
It would be interesting to know. And how
Yeah.
do they factor in like the rider's experience level
Mhm.
and their goals?
Right.
Someone who wants a horse for leisurely trail rides
Right.
will have different needs than someone who wants to compete in dressage.
Right.
Maybe they have some kind of system for categorizing horses
Okay.
based on temperament and skill level.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And what about after the sale?
Oh,
Do they offer any kind of ongoing support
right.
or guidance to ensure that the match continues to be successful?
Yeah.
It seems like they're committed to finding those lifelong connections.
Yeah.
But how does that translate into, like, practical help for their clients?
You bring up a good point.
Yeah.
It's one thing to make a good match initially,
Right.
but it's another to provide like the ongoing support to help both horse and rider thrive
Right.
in that relationship.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, their website mentions a rehoming service.
Oh, yeah, I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
It sounds like they help find new homes for horses that, for whatever reason, need to be placed with different owners.
Right.
Maybe the owner's circumstances changed, or maybe the horse just wasn't the right fit
Right.
for their lifestyle.
Yeah. It's definitely an important service to offer.
Yeah.
But it adds another layer of complexity to their whole operation. You know,
Right.
they'd need to carefully assess the horse's needs, find a new appropriate home, and potentially provide support to both the original and new owners
Right.
during the transition.
Yeah, it makes their whole approach even more impressive, though,
It does.
right? They're not just about making that initial sale.
Right.
They're thinking about the long-term welfare of the horse
Exactly.
and supporting their clients through, like, the different stages of horse ownership.
It speaks to a deeper commitment to, responsible horse care,
Yeah.
which is something I really admire. It makes me wonder about their network and resources.
Yeah.
Do they collaborate with other equestrian organizations or shelters
Right.
to facilitate those rehomings?
It would be interesting to know.
Yeah.
And how do they ensure that the new home is a good fit for the horse?
Right.
Do they have, like, a vetting process for potential adopters?
Yeah.
There are so many questions.
There really are, but stepping back for a moment,
Okay.
what's fascinating to me is how horsing around estates is operating at this intersection of real estate,
Yeah.
horse care, and community building. They're clearly passionate about horses,
Yeah.
but they're also creating this network of like-minded individuals
Right.
who share that passion.
It's not just about buying and selling.
Exactly.
It's about fostering a community
Yeah.
of responsible horse owners
Mhm.
who are committed to the well-being of their animals.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder if this is part of a larger trend
Yeah.
in the equestrian world, this shift towards more holistic approaches
Right.
that prioritize the horse's needs and really emphasize responsible ownership.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah.
It seems that there's a growing awareness of the importance of finding those perfect horse rider matches.
Right.
And ensuring that horses are placed in homes where they can thrive.
Yeah.
But enough about our thoughts. What about you, dear listener?
Yeah. What stands out to you about horsing around estates?
Yeah.
What aspects of their approach pique your curiosity?
And if you were considering working with them, what questions would you ask to determine if they're the right fit for you?
Yeah.
Think about it. What would be your non-negotiables when it comes to finding your dream horse or your ideal equestrian property? It's amazing to think about, like, all the things that have to come together
Yeah.
to create these horse and rider partnerships. It's more than just, finding a horse that looks pretty.
Right.
It's about understanding their personality, their needs, their potential.
And finding a rider who not only has the skills to handle them,
Yeah.
but also the commitment to provide them with the care and attention that they need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Horsing Around Estates is really dedicated to making sure both horse and rider are happy.
Their approach is definitely refreshing,
Yeah.
especially in a world where things can feel very transactional.
Right.
They seem to be fostering this sense of community
Right.
and shared responsibility
Mm-hmm.
within the equestrian world.
Yeah. I think that's what's so compelling about their story. It's not just about real estate or horses.
Right.
It's about building those lasting connections and contributing to a more thoughtful and compassionate approach to horse ownership.
Well said. It makes you wonder what the future holds for
Yeah.
companies like Horsing Around Estates.
Right?
Could this more personalized, holistic approach become the norm
Yeah.
in the equestrian industry?
That's a great question, and one that we'd love to hear your thoughts on.
Yes.
Head over to our social media and tell us what you think
Yeah.
of Horsing Around Estate's unique approach.
We're curious to know what resonated with you, what surprised you, and
Yeah.
what questions you're still pondering.
And, hey, if you're ever in Georgia, maybe swing by Horsing Around Estates
Yeah.
and see what they're all about firsthand. You never know. You might just find your dream horse.
Yeah.
while you're there. Until next time, happy trails.